I know you strong, baby. 'Cause you're just like your mama. You got fight in you. Ayana replied. It's just that this is a little more difficult than I expected it to be. Sunshine, you know that I like to keep things real with you. In this life, you have to deal with a lot of fake people. And I want to be the one person you can always trust and believe in. And when I tell you this, please know that I've looked into all my options. I've prayed. There's not much else I can do. Ayana confessed with a heavy heart. Sunshine squeezed her mother's hand to let her know that whatever it is that she had to say, Sunshine already understood. Ayana spoke slowly and deliberately. Sunshine, you've always been my motivation. I've done a whole lot of bad things in my life. I don't claim to be perfect, but I provided the best way I could for you. I raised you, even though it was hard for me. I kept you in school, even when we were homeless, nowhere to go. I made sure you learned how to read, because I know how important it is to get ahead in this world, and because I didn't want you to end up like me. See, I'm not a bad person, but I lost my chance at life a long time ago. I could never get the kind of job I wanted to get us out this ghetto because of my illiteracy. And without the skills, you can't pay the bills. So I did what I had to do. Sunshine felt overwhelmed with emotion as she sat and listened to her mother express herself. She had always respected her mother for taking care of her the best way she could. At the same time, Sunshine had always secretly blamed herself for her mother's ways, because if it weren't for Sunshine, Ayana wouldn't have to trick and lick to pay the bills. Now, Sunshine, I don't want you to blame yourself for any of this. These are my mistakes. It's not your fault. It was as if Ayana was reading Sunshine's mind. I made my own decisions in life. I chose this road, and I'm only sorry that you have to suffer with me. Ayana confessed. Sunshine. Ayana paused, inhaled, and finally said, I'm dying. Her eyes began welling up as she spoke. Faith's pussy was exhausted and pulsating. In her fantasy with LL Cool J, he was doing it, and doing it well. She had taken in as much of him as she could. Oh, harder, she told him. Deeper. The deeper he thrust, the more aroused she became, watching his Adonis-like body move inside her. When she looked up at him, he licked those luscious lips of his, and she knew it was about to be on. It was a damn shame that this was just a fantasy, and that she wasn't an around-the-way girl. It was also a shame that the man she was married to was never around when she needed him. She knew it was time to put an end to her marriage, if only she had the courage. Chapter 1. Bella. Dear Journal, I really need to let go of the past. I can't continue to live or dwell there. I can't continue to feel the guilt and the shame of what's done and over with. Guilt will kill you, and shame will hold you back. So why do I continue to do it? It's so easy to not let go, but why do what's easy? I've never taken the easy way out before. Look at me. I've turned my life over to God because it says He forgives all. I preach forgiveness. I preach letting go and moving forward. Why can't I do it? Peace and blessings, Bella. Bella got into prostitution because she thought no one wanted her and that she wasn't anything special. Sex made her feel extraordinary. She had something men would pay for, and yes, she admitted sometimes, even women. This is why she did not preach on such topics as homosexuality, because she'd been there and done that. It was her belief that what mattered most is what's in a person's heart. She just wished that others believed this as well, because the world would then be a much better place. The word had also gotten around how liberal her church was. You can come dressed up, you can come dressed down, you can come looking any way you like as long as you did not come naked, and that was enough to pack a full house every Sunday. She was proud of this. Her ability to keep up made her uncertain. Bella questioned whether she deserved the life she was living. Based on her past, she felt she did not. It was a good thing that God was her savior because she didn't think anyone else would know how to handle her. Ken! Ice ignored her pleas and cries. Instead, he took the hanger from between his teeth and delivered another blow to her backside. It caused her entire body to tremble. Her bottom lip shivered as if she was freezing, but that was impossible because the heat had the room temperature at 80 degrees. She moaned, closed her eyes, and bit down on her lip. It helped ease the pain.
Bitch, you are sorry. Sorry asshole. You gonna learn today, though.
Ice bellowed as he whacked Melody's backside for the third time. He plunged his pulsating dick as deep as he could inside of her, as he simultaneously pulled her curly fire engine red hair back for a second time. This time, he pulled with much more force.
No, Daddy, please.
Melody begged.
I'm not.
Her words were interrupted by the bedroom door slamming up against the wall in the room.
Stop it!
A voice echoed in Ice and Melody's bedroom. Melody drew her attention to the open doorway. Ice, on the other hand, rolled off of her, reached for his Trey-8 pistol. He had barely recognized the voice when it first echoed in the room, and he didn't bother to look at who stood in the doorway until he spun back around with his pistol cocked.
What the hell?
Ice muttered.
You little bitch.
He cursed and shook his head in disgust. The sight of her infuriated him. His eyes grew cold.
Hey, take your ass back to your room and back to bed, for I beat your ass.
He bellowed, threatening her. He waved his gun in the direction of the doorway as he spoke. Melody grabbed the barrel of the gun.
Don't point that shit at her!
She spat.
Bitch, you better back the fuck up.
Ice jerked his pistol back and grabbed Melody by the throat. He was just about to shove the barrel down Melody's throat when 9-year-old Jules yelled.
Stop hurting my mama!
Ice shook his head and uncocked his pistol. Melody gasped for air. She tried to regain her breathing as she covered her nakedness with the sheet. An embarrassed look appeared across her face.
It's okay, baby,
she said, her voice cracking.
Mommy's okay,
she added.
He wasn't.
Again, she was cut off. This time, it was by Ice.
Fuck that!
His voice boomed.
You don't have to explain shit to this little bitch. This is my motherfucking house. I pay the goddamn bills and keep the lights on and the roof over your little funky-ass heads. You understand?
Ice directed his words to both his bottom whore and his unwanted child buyer.
Now explain to this little bitch that you like getting your ass beat like this and that motherfuckers pay good money for this type of shit.
He wasn't asking her. He was telling her. He wanted Melody to school their 9-year-old daughter on her own sexual fetish and the value of it in the world of prostitution.
Come here, baby.
She held the sheet up with her armpits and extended her arms toward her daughter. Jules peered over at Ice. At 9 years old, she already knew the difference between love and hate, and she knew she hated Ice. She cautiously made her way over to her mother as she rolled her eyes at him. Melody wrapped her arms around her. She cupped Jules' chin and raised her head. She stared into her daughter's eyes.
There's some shit out here in these streets that'll scare the hell out of a weak bitch.
She made sure she had Jules' undivided attention before she continued.
But your mama?
Where's your father? He went back to Chicago, just until things calmed down.
I don't blame him, but shit doesn't stop now. We need to find the inside rat and handle that situation. There's too much money being lost right now with us having no coke. Anari said with a serious look on her face.
She wasn't going to let a raid stop the operation. There was too much money to lose by shutting down. Inari had been in the dope game for a long time and had seen hundreds of millions of dollars pass through her hands. The money was just as addictive as the dope that she sold. She knew that she was taking a loss, but there was nothing she could do. The last couple of months, her connect had been without dope, which meant she was without it. Inari kept thinking about her empire slowly going down the drain, and that only fed her desire to find another connect. She had worked too hard to establish herself in the drug game. I'll be damned if I fall off because of a fucking drought. Inari's first priority was to find a police informant within the restaurant. Who do you think is the rat? Inari asked as she leaned back in her chair. Well, there are only a few people that know about the meetings, Michi said as he reached out his hand and began to count. There's only Liz and Marcella. I caught Marcella talking to Liz one night about the meeting, so I got her taken care of. Now, Liz, she a good girl and goes to church every Sunday. She wouldn't say anything. And there's Buggy, but he's a fucking retard. Oh yeah, and then there's Zaya. She's the black waitress that served us the other night. What do you know about that Zaya chick? Could she be snitching? No fucking way. Forget about it. She's just as dirty as us. You see, she's been pushing coke around the restaurant, since the drought. If you ask me, she kind of reminds me of you a couple of years ago. Michi said as he played with the toothpick that dangled out of his mouth. Is that right? Where do you think she gets her coke from? Is it any good? Probably not. She's from the fucking ghetto, Michi said as he laughed at his own joke. Inari grew slightly offended and replied, I'm from the hood, Demichi. Don't get it twisted. For the last couple of years, I've had the purest shit that hits this country. So that don't mean shit. Michi knew he had pushed Inari's buttons and tried to lighten up the mood. Hey, sorry, Inari, no disrespect. I just don't think she has the quality that we're looking for. Just to make sure, let me talk to her. Set it up for later on tonight. Okay. Michi agreed as he nodded his head up and down. And Michi, take care of the other waitress and fire that retarded kid. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Inari said as she got up to leave the office. She didn't want to kill Liz, but it was all in the game.